Hey everyone, thanks for coming on by. I have UA Crimson on, and we haven't gotten to talk before about the case, and I really want to hear what her opinion is and go over the cemetery footage that I haven't seen yet. And you
Yeah.
said it's the mob crew had gone over it.
Yeah, let me
Did
get
I
it.
see it yet? There's no way. Oh, I was in his channel the other day though, and I know I said hi, but I didn't. Let's see. I don't know. I might have seen it when I was in the hospital and truly just not.
It's like one that you have to watch, I feel like, a few times because you can blink and you can very easily miss something. Because you're looking at lights and pixels and grainy footage kind of late at night. So it's one of those things that I think revisiting it is very helpful and beneficial, and looking at it more than once.
Well, I remember in the beginning it was a big thing was being talked about the cemetery.
Right. And the cemetery is adjacent to the retention pond that Max jumped into on the dispatch audio.
Is this the right video? This is from 6 hours ago.
Yeah, that's part 2. So yeah, we can look at that one and start. We can go. I haven't seen this one yet, so we can analyze it together or go through it together.
All right, so I will put his link into the. He definitely does good work, but I do agree that I think he is possibly off on the retention pond. Just in my, I don't know, obviously, but for a fact, because I wasn't there, and I haven't talked to the dog handler, But
I think that it's important to, you're looking at evidence or you're looking at things, to look at things objectively. And my personal opinion is that I think that he tries to make things fit into something that he already has preconceived. And that's where it becomes like problematic for me, is if you go into looking at something with the idea of using that to confirm what you already believe, rather than like looking at it objectively and seeing where that leads you, if that makes sense.
oh, I get it. It's hard because we all get tunneled, I feel like at times.
Right. And
It's
that's
really
where, like, that's why I've always said I want to have discussions and talk to people that don't agree with me. Always, it doesn't need to be an echo chamber, because ultimately everyone should be in this for Sebastian. This isn't a team event. We're not, this isn't a sporting event. This is,
gosh, can't believe you have to say that, but you do really have to say that. We
right.
agree.
Put your colors on and your pom poms, and it's become that, and that's very sad, because I think that that has contributed a lot to a lot of misinformation getting out there. And Ellie, unfortunately, I think has been inundated with a lot of rumors and gossip and speculation that were spread from very early on throughout social media. And as a result, it made it really hard for them to determine what was credible and what wasn't credible. And so they're reluctant to really hear anyone out unless you can be like, this is where Sebastian is.
Yeah.
And that's just been, that's what they've told me. Point blank. Can you tell me where he is? If not, then, I'm not really. And that's sad.
I know. They've said it from the beginning. It's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So where are these lights supposed to be?
Okay, so what you're looking at is a very zoomed in view from the back of 1030 Kellen Lane. 1030 Kellen Lane is 3 houses down towards, like, headed towards the entrance from off of like where Devon Court and and the entrance Kellen intersect. And Kellen Lane, the houses on Kellen Lane back up to the cemetery, like would back up not to this, like towards the cemetery side. So this house backs up to the new construction and the cemetery side. Some of those houses were still under construction, and because of that, you were able to see some of the cemetery in that footage. You can see, like in that footage, like in the footage or the still that you were just showing, you saw that little like bed of like wood stairwell, or that was a tree house.
So
but
it's over here.
It's gonna be up Kellen, and it's the third house down.
Kellen's right here, right? Oh, you can't see
Correct.
them now.
It's go up towards Devon.
This one, right?
Keep zoom in a little bit more.
Oh, it's not giving us the names. That's lovely.
Yeah, it'll show the.
Why isn't it telling the names? I thought this would be so easy.
Yeah, it's gonna be the third. It's the third house, so it's right there. Yes.
Okay.
Across from the one that has the middle one with a bright blue swimming pool. Yeah, it's the house right there. Correct. Okay. And then you see that tree. There's a tree house kind of area in the back, and that's what you're seeing in part of that camera angle. So that camera angle encompasses the,
Okay. I'll go back.
The tree house is actually that you're zooming in on the house below it. The tree house really you can't. It's right there, like that little structure.
Oh, 1030. Sorry, I went to the wrong one.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've looked at the search map, the CalTopo search map that was used by law enforcement.
Yeah.
And the searchers, but if you look at that, 1030 Kellen Lane is written and demarcated by a bright green neon flag.
Oh, yeah.
The words 1030 Kellen Lane. And I think that that's significant for, or Ellie obviously thought it was significant enough that they made sure to, note which one was Sebastian's house with the little house image, and then, the bright green flag and 1030 Kellen Lane in all caps.
Yeah. They haven't updated Google Maps, it looks like. Oh, they did. Oh, okay. All right. Well, sometimes it helps me to do the visual. That's why. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's great because I think that it's important for people to know like what it sees, and that if they go there today, it's obviously going to be a very different line of sight than what they would have had then due to houses being around.
Yeah, definitely. And then the cemetery is over here, isn't it?
No. The cemetery is going to be that patch of land right there with the trees in between the stadium and right behind the church. So see where it says
oops.
It says Beach Cumberland Presbyterian Church?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go there, you zoom in, and you can see the markers.
Right over here, right? Mm-hmm. Somewhere in here?
Yep. You can, if you go down some more. There's very few plots. Most of the plots are up here.
Because that's the road to get into it.
So this is where a lot of people misunderstand, and I've tried to correct this. There is that road to get into it, which is the entrance to Beach Cumberland Presbyterian. But if you look off of Ward Lane, there is a gate. That gate is mentioned in the dispatch audio. there is a way to get around the gate, even if the gate is locked, where vehicles, ATVs, like full-size like Suburbans, full-size trucks, everything, you don't have a problem getting around that.
Oh, wow.
And you can go around. You can go around it on either side, like of it, and you can see where the track marks are from people driving around it. So simply saying that like you can't enter from Ward Lane because there's a locked gate there doesn't mean anything when everybody that lives there or that's familiar with that site or that, cemetery is going to know about the entrance off of Ward Lane.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And if people don't believe me, I'll go post a picture of it or I can send it to you to show.
Well, it definitely changes perspectives when in your perception, seeing something now as opposed to seeing it on Google Earth. Like I can say that for myself. For sure.
It's one of those things where you have to be there. You really have to go and see it for yourself to get a feeling for. I mean, you can sit there and like Google Earth and stuff is helpful if that's all you've got. But really to get a grasp of what you're looking at, you really need to be there and put eyes on it.
Definitely, I agree, Pyro. It really is. You want me to hit play?
Sure.
Oops. So is this what we're looking at?
Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to point out some things that I think is important to look at. Okay. So that people can know to look at them beforehand. So you're going to see that light where that light is starting to you'll see, I want you to pay attention to the lights. Okay. Obviously pay attention to the movement of the lights and then pay attention to what looks like black figures that come in front of the lights as if they are walking in front of for example, a car headlight or, the brightness of the lights, the intensity of the lights, because you need to realize how far the cemetery and retention pond are from Kellen Lane and what type of lumens you would need to have in order for that to show up and the intensity for it to show up at. Because lumens and like of a headlamp, for example, is versus a bright, on a car is going to be very different. Or a flashlight, for example. But what, I think that that's important to see and pay attention to kind of like the movement of shadows coming in and out, like what looks like they're moving across this as it plays.
Okay, I just turned the music down a little bit.
See. You see the lights above that box?
Yeah.
They're changing. They're getting, where are those lights coming from? Like this is where.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I know there's a box there, but my eyes are going to the other lights.
Right. Because what I start to see is some redness, which is indicative of usually when a vehicle or, let's not forget, this is the country. You have people that have those side-by-side Razor ATVs that also, are used in, they were used in the search for Sebastian. They're mentioned in the dispatch audio. They're mentioned by people, as using them to search for Sebastian. So, Yeah, that is what's standing out to me right there the most, more than what's in the box, I can say. But then if you see in that box what was below the box, I think that that is a light reflecting off of water. And it has seemed to disappear.
And what does Chris say it is? Well, I guess we'll hear, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to rewind 1 second because that is really interesting. The lights do change for sure.
So see how you've got something down there,
Mm-hmm.
and then now it's not. Now you don't.
Hmm.
And there were some houses that were built, that some of these, but
Yeah.
so keep in mind that there are some of the houses in the construction site that have been built, and like lights can, that's why perspective and angles are important.
I mean, there's a lot of houses that have been built.
Yeah, they were throwing up those houses in like days. It was wild how quickly they were going up. I think I saw where you went to the Culver's.
Oh my God. Yeah. My son. I was like, I was starving though, and it was the best, like, real food I had in 2 weeks. It was really good. And it was nice that they had the flyers. And then we got to take the rest of the flyers home. So that's,
Yeah,
and they were good quality.
great.
But it was nice to see. I still didn't get I only heard a couple minutes of Katie's interview, and I didn't even see this.
Yeah.
Well, I will agree with her there. I do think that's what else can you do right now? Share the flyer, hang it up.
Right. And I think it's important to share that if you have a tip, call law enforcement. Don't call,
Yeah. I have always said that. I don't understand how anybody would not call law enforcement first. Never. No way. God forbid if it was critical.
Right.
It could ruin his chances of being found.
Don't call the TBI. Call local, like 911, the three numbers that you're taught as a child. 911. Rather that, better safe than sorry, because I'm sorry you will be waiting with the TBI and the FBI till the cows come home.
If you see them, you have to call 911 right away.
Correct.
Flipping absurd. Sorry.
Because people are, like I said, they've been jaded. They are jaded, absolutely. So if you were to call them and and say, I think they may not even know who you're talking about, because it's an operator. Let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, I get people following up, they want to let everybody know about a tip, but if it's critical where you actually think
it's
that
critical, you need to get on the phone with local law enforcement, whatever it is, to get their number, like wherever you are, 911, and keep eyes on that person at all times. I wouldn't,
Yeah, I definitely agree. So what does Chris think it is?
I'll let him tell you. And
all right, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I apologize, I just could not go live yesterday. A lot of a lot of moving parts going on behind the scenes, of course, of what we may or may have not discovered.
He looks
Of course,
mad.
I wish I could tell you right now, but we just can't for many reasons. And at in good time, you guys will understand why, and you guys will be the first to know. But until that time, there's still plenty to go over, look at, and kind of explain why we are so focused on this area as much as I can. There you go. Oh, that's awesome, Shaq. Yeah, it is a great game. I love that game. I don't play much. I don't get much time to play, but yeah, it's a great game. It's a game kind of based off like a Stephen King type thing. It's pretty cool. Anyway, get sidetracked with my ADD, but yeah. Yeah, that's where that song comes from, is from that game. Kind of blew me away. Anyway, so kind of go over, again, as I said before, I wish I could tell you guys so much more, but there is tons to kind of go over. Uh, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes, working many angles. So even if, let's just say, this doesn't turn out to be something, there's always secondary and third options that are being looked into as we speak. Potential big leads, in my opinion, which is amazing. So there's so many angles being looked at. But right now, for me, as you guys know, I'd like to focus on surveillance, break it down. What do we got here? Um, and yeah, so I'm sure most of you guys have been watching and paying attention about this weird activity that's been going on in the cemetery next
Well,
to.
yeah, we were like way long ago. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful to Chris at all, but it's just,
Yeah.
I'm shocked that now, like, I thought everything was done with that until this is coming back up. And now I'm realizing that,
Well, remember when law enforcement stepped away, they said that they were like going back, like scaling back the search and going to a more investigative direction, right?
mm-hmm.
After that, on April the 3rd and 4th, they came out of that investigative direction and went back to Long Hollow Pike and the cemetery and started searching. Law enforcement was all over it. And
that's when things got worse.
We were
Right?
talking
If
about-
you think about it, that's when a lot of stuff got worse with the speculation stuff, because that's when I saw those weird cemetery videos.
Right. And one of them was posted, like that was posted by someone with a, that was affiliated with the United Cajun Navy. She has a video that shows law enforcement searching the area between the retention. I think it's the area right between the retention pond and the, the cemetery.
Yeah.
So I think it's weird for them to have called the search back and then to come back out on April the 3rd and 4th to focus back in on the cemetery and the retention pond area and the areas along Long Hollow Pike. I think that something significant clearly must have caught their eye.
Oh my goodness.
To the neighborhood. It's a very small cemetery. It's a historic cemetery. Not very big.
Well, it's not like
and there
stones,
is
though.
weird stuff that's going on the night before he goes missing and the night of. And what are the odds that we have?
And they had asked people, right? Didn't they have in the newspaper, law enforcement, if you had any information or any surveillance for Saturday and Sunday?
Like from earlier, I think they were talking about earlier in the day. I don't know if they were talking about like the nights before, but
Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to pull up the link, but it could be I know it was before he went missing, but I'll look for that article because I don't know if that was in the article or if that's just something I remember people repeating.
I remember them
this
coming
kind of
back
weird
out
activity going on.
Yeah.
And so I think there are two scenarios that could be going on. We can talk about one, the other one we can't until that time is appropriate. And believe me, when you guys will be the first to know. And when that happens, trust me, you guys will understand why we had to not say anything and um, let things behind the scenes work them the moving parts do their thing. So here we are.
This is the night
This
before.
is where I get confused, right?
This
So
is where
he's
he's
oh,
not.
okay.
This isn't the night Sebastian went missing. So
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
yeah, the night Sebastian will be missing went missing will show 2:26:03. Military time would be 3 a.m. that morning.
Okay, I'm going to put
That's
him
where
in
it
the
gets
top right.
confusing. And
Just so.
sometimes he even gets confused as to what day he's looking at, because I've seen him conduct a whole live where he was pointing to the wrong and talking about it as if it was the night he went missing when it was the night before.
Oh,
Let me pause it really quick. But if you can, please hit that like button. Again, I know if you've been in here, we've kind of go over.
that's what I kind of like about Chris, though. It seems from what I have watched, he does own it and apologize. He seems decently humble, but
And
I
we'll
I don't
kind of
really know,
discuss like what could be a proper explanation that is not nefarious, right? What would kind of explain the activity we see?
Well, what time is it? It's almost 3
Because
a.m.
since I've gone live on
Yeah.
Tuesday, right?
There's no explanation I can come
Or
up with.
Monday. I'm sorry. I went live Monday.
It's not sinister.
Since then, I still get more footage and I still try to look at days after or days before or the hours just before all this happens.
I'm just going to say one more thing and then I'll let it play and not keep interjecting. One thing that I've always said, and I know a lot of other people share the same feelings, is this pushing for the surveillance and certain things. I've never advocated. Not that anything I say actually, means crap, but this is an active investigation. So I'm thankful that we're 2 years in and a lot of this wasn't all over, because it could really be part of something very serious. You don't know.
Right. And also, I think it's very dangerous to go around and, I think so much was made of people that very innocently could have just been eating their rolls at Texas Roadhouse or picking up food. And you have people trying to figure out who the heck they are and trying to put them in court. You know what I'm saying? It's can get dangerous when you're implicating people who live in the area, just because they decided they happened to eat at Texas Roadhouse that night.
Well, I gave up on looking at that because there was way too many enhancements for me. I can't.
And there was also some, I believe we caught a couple of alterations in the video as well.
There was a lot of enhancements. There was a lot. I don't know who did what or why, but when I was looking on the TV and I put it on the big TV a couple times and people look totally different. They look like 3 different people, 2 of them that had already been posted and on social media. I just stopped bothering to even look at the footage because that's not going to help anything.
Right. And law enforcement isn't going to listen to you if you have altered footage,
Oh yeah, well, I don't go to law enforcement.
Well, no, I'm just saying that people have gone to law enforcement and that, after watching altered footage and said, "Oh my gosh, I was watching YouTube last night on this live and they think that it's so and so." And this is the frustration that law enforcement has when, credible tips do come in. They're very jaded. That's why they're like, if you can't tell us where Sebastian is, then, I don't know whether to believe you or not.
Well, I wish people were more honest, or not honest. I know people do say it's enhanced or it's been edited with software, but I wish people were more specific as to what that actually entails. I hope moving forward
with what they put out publicly, because you never know who is watching and what, how they're going to take that and what real life implications it could potentially have.
Well, especially in an active case, and we can talk about
Correct.
that privately too, and then see what we could share publicly, because I know what happened to me, and it could have been very dangerous. So I can talk about that privately because it doesn't involve any YouTuber.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do totally stand behind and agree that we have to have more ethics, because it's not right. I mean, I saw a video and I totally thought it was factual, and it caused a lot of problems at the worst time, because this shit ain't about us. It's about a missing child.
Right.
Like, we shouldn't be making victims when there's already a victim.
Right.
We need to know where he is. He needs to come home. He has parents.
Correct.
I mean, it's
Hours
frustrating.
after, I don't see anything. There's nothing going on. So again, it just even makes it even more
So that's what is that
a
right
major
there? I'm
red
sorry,
flag.
on the right-hand side of the screen. Is that the treehouse thing?
Yeah, that's a view, he's zoomed in from that camera angle and it shows the treehouse area, like in that
Okay.
backyard.
Okay, thank you.
Like that this is going on in this little cemetery. So anyway, just in case if you have not been with us watching the show, I'll kind of break down what we're seeing. And again, there's multiple reasons, and I'll just kind of explain one thing first, just to kind of get your bearings of what we're looking at, just in case if you haven't been watching.
But isn't it still an active cemetery?
I don't think that they're really big. Like, most of them are,
Well, it's historic. I know that.
Yeah, historic. I mean, it's not. I don't know when the last time they buried. I mean, I think there was a few people when the McCoys came out there that had been buried.
Yeah.
Last year, but it's not like people are lining up to be buried there.
No, but I mean, like, some people have been buried since, like the last. Okay.
Correct. But I mean, I don't think there were any recent,
go full screen,
burials around the time that Sebastian went missing, because I don't want that to go that rabbit hole. Like, we need to go dig up the cemetery, because what if he was put in some, we don't. It's not like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, just in case if you don't know what we're looking at, so obviously we have Sebastian's neighborhood here and his home where he went missing the night of the 26th or the 25th, early morning 26th. And we have surveillance from a home that's up here on Kellen, and they have multiple cameras, and one of them happens to look, actually two of them look in the construction, and beyond the construction is the cemetery. And it's not a big, again, I've already mentioned this, not a big cemetery. It just kind of squished in between this new development and the school. And again, it's just a historic cemetery. I forget the age of it. Maybe someone in chat knows. But it was for the locals out there that just went to that church, that are a lot of them, the people that are buried there are the people that the patrons that went to that church. So anyway, one of the first things I noticed when looking at the footage is we had this strange light, and we just couldn't figure out where it was coming from. We could definitely tell it was not coming from the construction area, because we kind of have this horizon line, and I've broken that down in other videos. But there's something that's definitely in the cemetery that lights up.
I wish he could
what you're
just go
seeing here.
there.
And this is the night
That's
before
what
he
I'm
went missing.
doing there.
And it's this thing right here. And it lights up for about 6 minutes. Very, very bright, right? And sorry, I look at chat and I start reading it and I lose the train of thought. Rachel, it's in the description, but I'm sure my mods can post it. But I appreciate any of the support. We ask for, usually don't ask for donations or beg for them or anything. We did ask on Monday for some, because there are things that we may need to assist in with financial, and of course, more of that will be explained when the time is appropriate. But
Ground penetrating.
anyway,
That.
but I do appreciate everybody that donated on Monday. That was awesome. So anyway, so we had this weird activity, and of course
that
we.
Light, do you see how that light that he was talking about, like that was further down,
Yeah.
has dimmed?
Yeah, that's what I'm staring at. I can't get over that.
He's gonna say it's a reflection off of this, basically an above ground family like mausoleum type, where if you put your ashes above ground. Okay, no, I think that if you look at it, I think that what it is when light hits water, you start to see like the reflection off of that. So someone, a light source making like aim down, it looks like
at the water.
It looks like it when it, because I think that's the retention pond area. But it looks like you first see a like round, so, and then as it makes contact, it kind of trails off as it, like it would as when you're like making contact with water.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that. And he doesn't have the visual to see during the day of the mausoleum?
No, he sees the mausoleum, but the problem is the mausoleum is a solid object. Light,
yeah.
You have light hitting it, it's not going to reflect light back, Chris.
Yeah, I wouldn't think.
No, it doesn't light up brighter. That's where he's wrong on all that part. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, it's a solid object. It doesn't reflect back. It's not like a mirror. It is, So.
I'm not a professional with the lighting, but.
And he's gone into this. Someone in his chat suggested that you start looking at it in the black, like in black and white, like, negative. So he started doing that, and sometimes that maybe it helps. I don't know. I think he has stuck
figured out.
Though.
Yeah.
He's worn it for the last 4 lives. So.
And as I zoom in, and here's just kind of everyone's kind of wondering what are we looking at? Here's kind of a more zoomed out from the surveillance footage,
it looks like there's,
and I'm kind of overlaying
do you see what I'm
the
talking
nighttime.
About? Like
what is that?
In the center, it looks like there are figures of moving along that, walking up. Like if you rewind it like 30 seconds, like go up to where that tree branch is, and like the dead center.
Here, right?
Right. In that area, it looks like you see figures walking along. Call me crazy. Yeah, I can see your comments, Pam.
That is water. Isn't that water? What is that?
There's water. That's where I think the retention pond is.
Huh. Oh, now it's okay.
Activity, and of course, we since then figured out what that is. And as I zoom in, and here's just kind of everyone's kind of wondering what are we looking at? Here's kind of
There's literally what appears to be like right over the pause button almost in that black area. I'm gonna screenshot for myself. You see, I mean, I wish there were more people in here to tell me I'm not crazy, because you do see, like that. You see figure, like you can clearly see something moving in a very perpendicular fashion, as if they're walking.
That is interesting. Sorry, I'm like staring at the screen.
More zoomed out from the surveillance footage, and I'm kind of overlaying
what is
the
that?
nighttime.
So what is this from? He just lightened it
He's
from the daylight
overlaying
one?
stuff. He's overlaying stuff. Now that's where I'm like going, when you're overlaying stuff, are you overlaying something where people like, obviously you can't, I wouldn't think, does the overlay have the movement, or is it the other footage? Like that's where it gets,
Yeah. Well, because it's in the same area.
right. So this is why I don't, this is where, but you can see, and just the dark footage too, like I said, if you focus on looking at the lights and seeing, like, you will see that type of movement come in between, like pass in front of the light source, or pass in between the source of light and the camera, creating a blackout effect.
With the daytime, with the construction, so you can kind of see, where we're looking
What
at,
is that?
and that's the construction site, but we're kind of looking on the horizon of the construction site, just beyond it, which of course is that church, and then we can actually see the school, as you can see here. That is the stadium light, and this is taken at almost 8 p.m. just to kind of get your bearings, that as this stadium light goes out, and what lights are left, we
Okay,
kind of
so
get an
this is the
understanding
day
of
that he
what
goes.
lights are what
They're
in the
coming from the Texas
background. That way
Roadhouse
we
and
can kind of get
everything.
our sense of
Oh, okay.
what we're kind of looking at and the direction, right? So that big light goes out. This light, whatever it was, is not there anymore. We have no idea what it is. That's not the suspicious light. Obviously, that's the one below it.
He's
But
completely missing
with
the
locals
orange.
and
Well, how do you know it's not suspicious?
Because I feel like he's got an agenda and he's trying to make it match. He's
I'll have to
completely
ask him.
failing to notice this orange, this light up here, up top in between this, like the V, where the tree makes the V,
Well, that's why I'm wondering, and maybe he's separating it, like he said in the beginning, and then I don't really, like, you can't not, I'm sorry. You can't not look at that, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this is where my frustration. Like, I've told people to watch it and just mute them, honestly, but it's then they don't know what they're looking at, because he's also edited out the times of stuff.
I'll have to ask him, and I'll have to hop in the next live and actually ask, like,
But yeah, somebody needs to, because I'm blocked. So
oh gosh, I get blocked all the time. I'll probably be blocked next because they take things the wrong way. I'm just trying to understand things. Everybody gets very defensive, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Because he wants to analyze everything. So I'm sure he's going to look into that next. I mean,
but some people don't want him analyzing everything, though.
oh, that makes sense too. If people, all different reasons.
Correct.
Ugh.
Silvers and other people assisting.
I wish people would just do what they need to do, what they feel is right, and tune everything out at this point. If we are really here for Sebastian,
if I'm a creator,
everybody.
If I'm a creator, okay, and someone is coming to me with, like, hey, I don't want you to show this, or hey, I want you to not, that should be like a big like red flag,
Mm-hmm.
I would think that would be a red flag. So
maybe it's for the greater good and we just don't know. Because sometimes playing dumb and letting people keep talking, right? Sometimes it can end up being a good thing.
Sometimes.
Man, I can't believe this.
But then it just furthers the narrative of, like, the truth isn't out there, though, and then Ellie, gets more phone calls about, more bogus phone calls, or like don't know what to believe.
Well, I think that's what my frustration came in a lot when I would listen to, like, Chris on the panels. That's what I used to get really, because I only would go over what I heard with my own 2 ears on the, but was always like when he would say, like, when the truth this, when the truth that. And it's like, okay, but it's been so long that I'm like, if law enforcement can't let certain things out because of the case, but then you keep saying the truth, that's what always ticked me off. You know what I mean? Like, what
Well,
is the truth?
I
Like,
don't think that, let's just say, I don't think that anything that he's put out has been anything that law enforcement I don't think that anything that he has put out necessarily as a theory has been anything that law enforcement is working with as a theory, in my opinion.
no, I meant Chris Proudfoot. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I know they're both
yeah,
Chris.
so
I'm
many
sorry.
Chris's. We have so many Chris's, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I just meant, like, with that was where my frustration would always come in, because I'm just like, okay, but now it's been so long. So if we have, I like, in the beginning, I could understand. I'm like, okay, it's an investigation. You don't want to risk anything, especially if he could be okay and he could come home. Heaven forbid not. You want to be able to, have a case. You know
Right.
what I mean? So that was my frustration, because I'm just like, well, somebody, if you have the truth, then we need the truth. What's the truth?
I mean, I think if they had the truth, though, they would have it would have been solved by now. If they knew what happened, this would have been solved by now.
No, I know. I think, and that was my frustration, though, is because I just
Yeah.
never understood why you would phrase things like that. But then I'm not him and I'm not them, and I never talked to anybody. So I'm at a different disadvantage of trying to filter out, like, what's been propaganda, what's not propaganda. Because I'm sure you've talked to people here, there's a lot of the propaganda even here. Like, when not a lot of people really do know Sebastian's missing. Why? That's why I get so ticked off about people not wanting to hang the flyers. Because we've encountered people really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it's one of those things where,
But there's a lot of things I don't want to say on a live stream either. You know what I mean? I don't feel comfortable
right,
that I've been told. I'm just not going to risk.
right.
Oh, God, what a mess. I'll start
That's
it again. Is that all right?
Yeah.
And just let me know if you or anybody in the chat wants to bounce around.
not the suspicious light. Obviously, that's the one below it. But with locals and silvers and other people assisting behind the scenes, doing an amazing job, we kind of figured out, what are some of the other background lights and kind of where they're at. That kind of helps us orient where we're kind of looking at, which is amazing. And so we kind of figured out that these lights over here, this kind of area right here is the stadium, right? So that's kind of almost
But okay. All right,
the
never mind.
horizon of where the stadium's at. So we have kind of like the church kind of mushed in between the construction and the school cemetery, if that makes sense.
I'm not sure about that angle.
And
I gotta hear that again. What did he say? Because that's the school. God, it looks so different over here. Okay.
The history of the video, Marianne, is that he
the
finally
construction
Oh,
and
sorry.
the history of this video is it's the 1030 Kellen Lane camera footage that was given to him, the only footage really that he has, except for the lights video that has been done over and over and over in Texas Roadhouse. And he has mainly focused on the front of the house, and ignored a lot of things in that, just focusing on certain time frames around like 3 a.m. But now, he's starting to look at the back footage and kind of analyze it. But I think, like I said, I'm not sure about his angles of where he's saying what is what in S, B, and C. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand it. That's why I figured let me rewind and see what is he saying. Because
School, cemetery, if that makes sense.
hang on, didn't say the
Kind of
whole
mushed in was the
Sorry.
stadium, right? So that's kind of almost the horizon of where the stadium's at. So we have kind of like the church kind of mushed in between the construction and the school cemetery, if that makes sense. And I should note right away, and I mentioned this on Monday.
Yeah, that's not registering.
The church has been notified, and some law enforcement, I believe, has been notified as well. So please don't bother the church. They know.
Notified of what?
We are in talks
What are
with
the
them as we speak.
Notified of what if they went back and searched?
This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like the church has been notified that there was somebody that y'all think was in the back of in their cemetery the night before Sebastian went missing, and there were suspicious lights seen. Like, what's the church gonna do? Pray about it? Like, I mean, I'm not being like.
No, I know what you mean.
What are they like? Why? What are we notifying? Like, who are we notifying at the church?
Well, if Ellie already went back, they already have the footage then. Like they already said they had all
have
the
this footage. But
Yeah.
by notifying the church, I'll just ask you: Are you referring Mob Crew to the post in Hendersonville, asking if anyone had ever seen lights in the cemetery? Just wondering.
Yeah, that confused me when you said notify them because of what
And
there's
there's
nothing new.
some things we are just waiting on with them.
What are they going
But
to
they
do?
know about this. They've actually apparently seen some of my lives and understand the situation. So this is great news. You know,
When I go pick my son up on Saturday, they have all these statues and all this stuff. I'm going to shine my headlights and see what it looks like because I don't think it would glow like that, in my personal opinion. I just can't.
No. See,
I don't.
The mausoleum. This is like the above ground, like family mausoleum that he thinks that
This one.
shining
I don't
and
see
creating
how.
that bright light. That's what he thinks. He's going to tell you about it.
I can't connect.
If it is nothing, then at least we can knock it off the list. But for now, they even believe this is definitely. I mean, I want to speak for them,
What
but
are
it
their
sounded like they were
qualifications?
very concerned about what was going on the night before and the night of Sebastian's disappearance. That was going on in their, cemetery.
Well, they would know if Ellie went back and searched it and everything, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you, Stevens.
But it is unsettling if there's a bunch of people in the middle of the night. We all know that. I mean,
right. Yeah.
There is occult stuff that goes on in this world, as taboo as it sounds.
Yeah.
And weird stuff.
I mean, okay, I'll just say this too. Like when he first started analyzing this footage, he didn't even go to know that this looped around. So, I'm just saying, you don't need to, everybody takes people, like creators' words as gospel. I'm telling you, if he could, like, if he was destined to be in the FBI or the Secret Service or the running a military operation, he would be running it by now. But don't take someone's word as gospel. Like, there's a lot of things that have been gotten wrong in this case, and I think it's pretty easy to see some of them.
Yeah. None of us are without flaws, that's for sure. But I think that's why there's got to be more, hopefully, I don't know, regulations or something? Because this is, and I'm not talking about mob crew, I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
like we all know that there's been way too much that happens with the cases when you're going over things, enhancing things.
Yeah, no, they
This is
can.
way too much. Like
FBI
this
can
is an
do
active case.
because like in the overlay, we didn't know if that was when he put the overlay. We were like, is that the night footage where the people are moving? Because there's people moving, or your
Yes.
overlay, and you just didn't notice. Because he didn't point it out. He didn't notice that.
Hopefully you will. Because it helps. It helps, especially because he seems to pour his heart into trying to really understand what's before him, you know?
I think that he has spent a lot of time on looking at things, and he gets very excited if that falls in line with what he's thinking, that gets quote unquote confirmed by locals, his local source. And you know, sometimes I think maybe he's a little too eager to please the locals, that he, instead of looking at the footage to create a story, to tell a story, he looks at the story to makes the footage try to match, and ignores what doesn't match, you know?
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear about those other lights because I don't think they're gonna that just the mausoleum thing is not making sense to me. That is way too bright, but that's
Well, it's a solid, like a solid object. I mean, if I go and shine a light behind okay, so if I go and shine a light with a solid object that's like a, you know, marble, whatever, it is not going to reflect on the other side.
mm-mm.
That's what he doesn't understand.
And do we know why it's just now that this is finally being sent over?
Because remember, we have this whole alleged kidnapping theory of a dry run it the night before, and then we have a 3 a.m. car. I'm telling you that the car on Stafford Court does not exist, and the 3 a.m. car that he's been trying to identify, I know who the 3 a.m. car belongs. Like we've known who that is, honestly, and he's still wrong about the make and model. So he got the color right.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, you're, these were narratives that were put out at the very beginning by some people, and, you know, under some anonymous posts in Facebook groups.
Well, that I my gosh, did I not see that? I totally know that was happening for sure.
No,
Just
I will.
why, who, what, you know?
I have plenty of t-shirts. I will send him one.
Okay. So if you've been with us, we the first thing obviously we want to figure out was what was this light that shows up on the 25th and the 26th. And thanks to Silvers and other people as well, going through that cemetery, we figured out that it is this memorial thing. And I have now figured out what it is called. As a matter of fact, I believe it was the pasture that was the one that told us
The
what this thing is
pasture?
called.
That's
It's
a
called
cow.
a columbrium. And that's for people that get cremated, and then they just have their cremations in there and their names.
Yes,
And it
cremains.
is called a columbrium. When you
I
look
mess
at the
up on stuff too all the time, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. So this is what they're trying to say. They think the light is this.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a light reflecting off of this is causing for 6 minutes, the light that you saw down what I think is really what's reflecting off of like water, which is why you see the tail and how it gets a little bit dimmer at the very bottom of it.
Wow. Huh.
That's why it's not
Actual word, which I'll
Yeah. We could listen for a minute and then we can skip over. I don't think he's going to talk about it that long, right? What this we'll see.
Well, I
go
don't
here in
know.
a minute. You feel like you want to pronounce it a different way. You got to love English. So anyway, this thing is highly reflective. Has no lights. That was one of the things we were wondering. Like, is there, some kind of lights that light this thing up, at night for somebody to see? But obviously, 3 a.m. And the other thing we also learned about from the church is that they do not allow. So it's almost like a park. You know how there's kind of like a curfew. You're supposed to be in parks
Water
from
everywhere. No, after the
sunrise to sundown, right? It's the same thing with cemeteries, or at least this one anyway, where they don't want people in there. And
yeah, no good things happen after
oh,
midnight.
thank you, Heather, so much. God bless you for the Venmo. That is so sweet. I just got it. Thank you so much. So anyway, then we ran some tests and we figured out that this thing is highly reflective. I know we've kind of gone over that, but we just want to kind of establish what's going on. Also, because I know that it's possible maybe a church member or two that may work there could be watching this, and I'm trying to kind of also explain what we're looking at and where we believe it is. This is very important for what would be coming up.
So I thought they were saying it's a car, but now it's an SUV.
That's an unmarked. They don't know that. I mean, he didn't. He's trying to, I think, put Chris' car and an unmarked car SUV over there. I think is what.
I thought they said it was the silver sedan.
Well, they've got. Just wait. I think they're having a whole get together.
I can't keep up on this anymore. Just can't keep up. First it was blue. And I'm not saying just them because I heard the same thing from other.
Yeah, that's how it's kind of like spelled. And you would want to say like columbarium, but it's columbrium. Again, English.
So there's water to the left and to the right.
So yeah, there's I wanted to look that up because I keep always saying the memorial plaque, and I know I'm and
the thing is like
called, and I want to be respectful.
That columbrium that he's saying, like when the light reflects off of it, is that it's in front of the like retention pond area, I guess. I don't know what he's trying to. I mean, I don't think that it works the way that he does, so I don't really know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask the next slide.
Yeah,
I am genuinely like confused
about that until the appropriate time. But there's
Wait,
other things. But unfortunately, I can't really speak about that until the appropriate time. But there's other things that we can discuss.
So then there is a chance that he does know and he's just not going to talk about it yet. That's what it sounds like.
No, I mean,
you don't think so?
He thinks that he's. I think that he thinks he's.
Oh, okay, got it.
And that is two scenarios, and one of them being, what were they doing? Could this have been some kind of meet after maybe moving Sebastian, right? There's the it's already been kind of leaked out there that the vehicle that was seen in around 3 to 3:20 a.m. The suspicious car and the 3 a.m. lights on Stafford, that this unknown vehicle did not have a back license plate.
Hmm?
I don't know
I
if
thought
that's
it had
100%
the
How would
wrong
you know
true
license
that?
or
plate. I thought it had the wrong license plate.
I thought it didn't have a front light. How would you see that? You can't even see the car. Okay. Because
Oh yeah, you wouldn't see it from the surveillance.
right. So how do you know? Like, were they? Who was was the person driving it? That's your source. Like, how do they know there's no back license plate on it? Where's the
No
proof
idea.
of this?
I just remember hearing on one of the dispatch audios that there was a car, but it was the wrong plate.
That
But I don't
was
know what car it
that
was.
was not even real. Like, I think that wasn't that not even that was, I think, unrelated on the day of, right? The dispatch audio. Are you talking about the dispatch audio the day he went missing?
Yeah, like I don't remember if they
They
took
ran
it out, why they took it out.
because it would dox. Yeah, I guess I don't know.
But I know that it was taken out, and I just figured either it was irrelevant or it is relevant and it just needs to remain out, you know?
I don't think that, like, I think it was just part of the dispatch because Sumner County wasn't just, it's their entire dispatch from, like, on Broadcastify, so it wasn't
Yeah.
like everything that they did that day pertained to Sebastian.
Yeah, of
Like, they
course.
still had traffic stops and stuff.
But that's the only time I ever remember hearing plates, so I don't know where they would
That,
get
and I think when someone was pulled over.
I don't know how they would know it's
not,
no plate.
but
No idea.
that comes from a pretty credible source. So I
I've
would
Oh,
heard
it's from a
pretty
source.
credible
still
source.
take that with a
and
grain of salt, but from what I understand, uh, that source has been spun on with other
Huh.
details.
Like what?
So that thing lights up from 3:23 to 3:29, roughly on the 25th. And then that same night, about 15 minutes later, and then this is where we'll get into the discussion, is we have at 3:45 a vehicle
Right
that
there.
is on the
See those
west
headlights?
end of the road.
Yes.
Notice how it's higher
Thank
up than
you.
what I called the North Star, which whatever that light was. We believe it may have been
You could see
it
it.
may have
clear.
been even the construction light.
Huh?
Those big floodlights the construction people have.
Yeah, but if it's right here, then that's
Wait, is he trying to say that there's a construction? I hope he's not going down. I haven't we're watching this together for the first time. I really hope he's not going to try and say that these two lights that are separated and just came from is not like. I hope he recognizes this is a vehicle. Please tell me. And he is still yet to mention anything about the amber, the change in tone, color tone of the light and the V above the box. This is where I need like a marker, like a little pointer when you're in school.
yeah, I know. Over here.
Right there.
Definitely changes color.
That would kind of make sense because it's not very high wherever it's at, and that might have been possibly just for them. We don't know. That's still just kind of still trying to figure that out because it's not there anymore. Whatever this giant light is, because clearly you would not miss it if you went into that cemetery at night, but it's not there anymore. Anyway, so we have this vehicle at 3:45. And they are on the upper end of this loop which would make sense of why we would see it, because it would be up on the horizon of near the construction, right? So we would be able to see it. And it appears it is heading towards us, which is south, which is very strange.
I agree. Where did it come from?
And sorry, I'll get to the
Yeah.
super chats here in a minute. I'm just kind of let
Ward Lane?
them build up for a minute.
Sounds, yeah. a little-
Oh, thanks,
There's
Kitty.
only one place.
Are
Where'd
very
it come
smooth
from?
glass. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It does. It really does look like it's glass, like made out of marbles.
What do you think it's made out of?
Very pretty. But yeah, very, very reflective, and
Stone,
yeah, it does. It
right?
looks like mirrors. Then
Gosh, I wish he could get over there and just fly a drone or something.
Well, that's in the works. I'm gonna figure this out because I surely hope he knows that what that's made of, right? He doesn't think that it's blessed Jesus take the wheel.
Oh,
Then, you know what? I got sidetracked there. One more thing. I'm
We
sorry.
have 3 cars now.
So at 3:45 we saw a vehicle, and then at 3:49, so 4 minutes later, on the 25th. Oops, I didn't go back far enough.
This is this negative thing that a viewer mentioned doing, this box down in the corner.
oh,
We don't see it as easily as the other one. Again, we are looking super far out, so again, we're not going to see much. But again, notice the time is about a 4-minute difference between when we saw the other one. And if you think about it, it's almost like, did this vehicle loop around? Because this is a loop, right?
Uh-huh.
Very interesting. And then that is it. I do not see anything else going on.
But wait, if a vehicle looped around, it would have to have entered to begin with, right?
mm-hmm,
That was something that was entering.
mm-hmm. It looked like it.
It was like, for example, we have a play. They're coming in stage whatever, left, right, whatever you would consider that if you're an actor. That wasn't something that was already there driving around in a loop.
Yeah.
Unless they had come in, lights off, and then all of a sudden decided when they came around the bend to turn their lights on, which makes no sense either. So, Mob, like I tried to tell you, off Ward Lane, you can actually go around the gate in both ways. You can go around the right of it or to the left. There's a nice little carve out for both of them. Any local would know that. Not any Joe Schmo, though.
Okay, I did.
What happened?
Sorry, I don't know why my chat didn't go up. But yeah, thank you, Rachel.
Let's see.
Um,
I want to hear him explain this more, like, because I'm really, even if like I disagree, I still want to know like where he's coming.
Process.
Yeah, I'm still trying to understand it before I can be like, yeah, I don't. You know what I mean? I'm really not getting it. Now I know I'm loaded up on all kinds of medicines, but I don't think it's that.
No.
Okay. And back to the 25th. I'm sorry. That should have been cut out. This spot that Silvers is sitting at, and this is when he went last.
Okay, but you need to do it's. Gosh, there's leaves on the trees. It's a year old.
And there aren't going to be leaves on the trees in February.
So did he just go back or no?
No, this is his year-old video.
Well,
or whatever.
Next year.
Yeah, that's not.
He's literally looking towards the construction area, where the security is at. Notice he's at the level. I just want to emphasize
Very
this.
plush greenery. It would obstruct any type
Notice
of
he's level. Notice there's no land that is above him, right?
Look,
Because that
no, I can't tell. I
His
mean,
car's at an angle.
our
Obvious.
security
Like,
camera is beyond this. So he is.
I mean, I get what he's trying to say, even if there's greenery, right? Like but
right.
still,
Why is very, very important. Because again, it's possible that certain patrons or
okay. Okay? So there is ways that you could see right on the footage, right? Look over here.
That footage is gonna have like a field of like a an angle field of
No.
view. So
No, but I'm just saying, like, you could cut over here, like, just in this footage, you could see like this big,
yeah, right.
you know,
I mean,
like,
they also had like there was areas like where there was supposed to be like a barbed wire or gate or fencing up there, but there were also areas that were not fenced that where
yeah.
you could literally cross in between the construction area. Same for the construction between the construction area and the backyards in Kellen.
Yeah.
maybe watching that may need this info. Anyway, you notice there's nothing that's higher, and our surveillance is over here. So there would be nothing blocking it. So it would make sense. Why would we see something about here? But then, of course, with all the trees and everything else, it would probably be obscured, right? And then as the level drops, but as you can see, there is really nothing
It's not.
that would block that
It's not
right
even
up in
though.
this little spot here, and that's where we believe that vehicle's at on the 25th.
So
Wait,
I guess I don't
he's-
understand what he's trying to say. Like,
He's trying to say that he's trying to find a way to make that car come in to he's trying to find a way to explain those headlights coming in. But he can't because he's trying to say that there's no way that you could get off of Ward Lane because there's a gate there. He doesn't want to his local source doesn't want to
what
acknowledge
about right here? Like,
that you can there's other ways you can get to the cemetery and come
well, especially in those vehicles that you were talking about, tons of people have them. I see
Or
them all the
Jeep.
time going to
or
get gas and stuff.
off-ride or like a 4x4. Like it doesn't he just
The razor things.
the razor.
I see them gassing up a lot too. Like, I wonder, like the other. Oh, gosh.
The problem is it's what is his angle what is the angle of in terms of his angle, like the camera angle? What is its field of view? Is that part of the field of view? I believe it is, but I just I can't see, like, he's not providing that by the way that he's showcasing this.
No, and I'm trying really hard to understand because I could totally understand his perspective in the past when he's explained a lot of like where he thinks this is, how this is. Like a lot of it ends up making sense, and you can tell like it's a process of trying to learn. And, I mean, we're obviously you're not investigating. The way I look at it is you're keeping his name out there and keeping people interested. But then this, I really can't, I really want to ask him because I'm not trying to, be rude to him or put him down at all. Because I do think he wholeheartedly believes in what he's saying and doing.
Oh,
I
I
really
think
do.
he does too. I think he does too. I think that I'm looking at the mausoleum or like columbarium, and is there like, I see like, let me go back and flip it around.
I don't know if you're on the laptop. I think you can share your screen too if you wanted to.
I'm on an iPad on stream,
Okay.
but
I can
I'm
try to do it if you want.
on Google Earth.
Are you trying to look at what it's made up of?
No, I know what it's made up of. It's just the fact is, like, it's I don't like its placement in the cemetery. I just don't think is even where it's gonna be.
Where it's going to be located, because that's what I was trying to.
Right, like it's not. I don't remember. I only remember there being that one, and it's at the back of that loop. It's not towards the front of the loop. Like, by the front meaning the side closest to Kellen.
Yeah.
If you look at Google Earth, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it's towards the beach stadium side of that.
Hang on, I'll pull up the Google Earth.
I don't think that, like I said.
Let's see. Where is it? Here's the cemetery, right? Where are we zooming?
We're zooming. See, like, keep going.
Going in the back, right?
See right here. Okay, go see that right there. That, like, white spot off of with the little walkway towards the trees.
Whoops.
On the right hand side of where it forks.
Oh, over here? Oh,
Yep.
we're all the way over here. Oh my
Down.
gosh.
Go down. Go down. Down. There you go. That's what I think he's talking about, is it not? Isn't that what he was showing the picture of?
How?
That's
There
what
it
I'm
is. There's the.
about. That wouldn't even come into play. Like, I don't remember if there's two Columbriums out there.
Yeah, because the house is.
The house wouldn't even affect the lighting. Like, they're not going to be parked behind that. That's what I need to find out. Is
Yeah.
when he goes to show it again, is it the one with the walkway? Because if it's the one with the walkway, that rules that one out completely. Like, that throws his theory out entirely.
It's got to be another one, right?
I'm sure.
What he
I
said.
don't remember there being a ton of, like,
see.
Columbriums over there.
No, I think we would see it.
Wait, it did have, I think it was.
I'm just trying to understand the angle from what he's saying the camera is facing. How would that, like, where is it going? You know what I mean? Like, where would it?
Yeah, how would it how would it impact the camera? I don't know how, if that's the one that he's talking about. If anyone else sees a Columbrium, if they get on there, Google, because I don't remember. I think I took video. I can go back and look at video too. But I think that's the one. I'll go back and look in his live, rewind it too.
There's the stadium. He says that wouldn't be in the field of view that way.
Right.
Yeah. I'm wondering if could the trees be blocking something over there? Well, but then you saw the water though for that one, and then. Well, I know with the rain though and stuff, there's like the ponds fill up all over the place. You don't necessarily.
The one he's showing has benches, because I rewound the live. The one he's showing has benches, a walkway, and that is the one that he's showing.
Oh, it looks like it has the two benches.
Yep. I mean, that's the one he's showing in his live.
That's not how is that going to show up in the footage?
It doesn't. So I'm hoping he has another one.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll have to watch and see what else he said. Now he's really lost me. Okay.
Lost in the sauce, because that's like where I'm like, okay, that really isn't in there. Like, I rewound the footage and that's the one that he's okay. Keep going, Chris. Mob crew.
Let's see. Because those are the newer houses then. Is that a newer
Correct.
house? That has to be the newer houses.
Yeah, those are the newer houses that are like in that shot that you're showing right now.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me go back. Let's
Come
go
on,
back.
Hazel, can you get some eyes on this and tell me what you think? My dog is sat here. Poor little thing. She's
Aw.
sat here trying. She's probably listened to so many dang interviews, so many times. We have looked at white footage. We have done it all.
Aw.
She's gotten gray from this case, and so have I. She's
Oh,
young.
yeah. I have
She's
too.
gotta be gray.
I think a lot of us are getting gray.
Yeah.
And so that is exactly where Silvers is at. And again, this was last year, which is an amazing job.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that's the
that's not,
okay.
but that can't be the field of view then. If that's the same mausoleum.
Correct. Let's see if he's gonna say it is. Please tell me it's not. But that's
There's
really
the trees.
that's
I'm looking at the trees around it. You can see
That's
on your
what I'm
Google Earth, right? That can't.
yeah. Unless they look exactly alike, and I don't remember there being two. I'm gonna see if I have video from when I went to the cemetery.
Unless there's one hidden.
No, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, so he's even pointing.
But where's the?
And then that's him driving down
I
the
got the
west end of the
Google
loop.
Earth
And
on my
of
phone
course,
over
there's
here.
our Columbrium.
Zooming in, and I do not see. There would have to.
And again, vehicles and where we think they're going.
Wait a second.
Okay, so please
What?
tell me.
So,
Hold on, that went too fast.
and where we think they're going.
Okay, what is he pointing at here?
He's pointing at a vehicle heading
So,
back towards Long Hollow Pike.
we have that activity on the 25th.
The
With
problem
either
is
one or two vehicles. Possibly, I believe it
one
could
or
be just the
two.
same vehicle, maybe looping around,
Hold on.
or
That would be four
and
headlights.
possibly
Where are the four? I only see two headlights moving.
Yeah, I don't think there could be one or two, unless one stayed behind and then didn't move again until
Yep.
daylight.
Well, and had no lights on. Never turned their lights on. They're just driving in circles without lights on, but one decides to turn the lights on. There's definitely not two in that. I mean, each car comes with two working headlights that are, and those lights appear to be equally separate. You know, they don't. You know,
Yeah, I highly doubt there would be a car with no lights on.
they're a fixed distance from one another. It's not like a. Okay. It's definitely not two if you're showing that. Okay.
It does seem to be one.
scouting
Scouting? What are you scouting
the
from
area.
over there?
No.
What would you possibly be scouting from there? Yeah,
I'm
there's
still
a
trying to
mausoleum
understand his
over there.
angle. The angles.
Do you see a mausoleum over here? I think someone pay attention and tell me if you see a mausoleum. I'm trying to find the video of when I was out there. Yeah, because I remember him like when that one that he showed with the van in the background is the mausoleum. He asked, okay, I'm still. Okay.
But this is the big thing, is we don't see. Okay. So after the 3:45 and 3:49 on the 25th, the night before he went missing, we don't see any cars leave like we do on the 26th, right?
Wait, what?
We don't see anything enter or leave, which is very suspicious because there are.
I gotta rewind that because I'm
Yeah.
really
Enter
confused.
on what day? I mean, so were they supposed to be there all night, all day, and all night scouting? We have a full day stakeout in a cemetery. Okay.
I'm not gonna leave the car there. I mean, I know people, do drive and then get out and go camp or whatever, but like where in here?
Everybody's camping over in that
They would
cemetery.
you would see them get I think that would be suspicious
Don't
to
be
somebody, seeing
suspicious.
there's so many people there at the
Especially
construction
a
site.
Sunday, because that's when people will be going to church, right?
Exactly.
Oh, let's hide. Maybe they put maybe they did put their car in camo or something. Maybe
I'm not
that'll be the
following that
next
part.
that'll be the next narrative.
See, but that's why I'm trying to see what he's saying. Like, obviously, I don't think they could leave the car in that. Wouldn't make.
We don't see
But
cars
the
You would go in
this
on
is the
foot.
big thing is we don't see. Okay. So after the 3:45 and 3:49 on the 25th, the night before he went missing,
You just wouldn't need to.
This
do that
isn't-
at all.
this
we
irrelevant.
don't see
Yeah.
any cars leave like we do on the 26th, right?
What?
We don't see
Yeah, you do. You just didn't see it.
anything enter or leave, which is very suspicious because there are a couple of high points from where we're looking that we should see at least some headlights or taillights, but we don't.
That's where he's getting lost
And
even
that's-
more because you're saying. I thought he's saying that the car is leading and that is headlights. The other thing is a reflection.
Right. And the reflection goes away after 6 minutes, which meant that there had to be a light source to create the quote unquote reflection. What was that light source and why was it only on for 6 minutes?
I would assume it's a vehicle's headlights
I mean,
reflecting off of something, right?
but the problem is it what it's reflecting off of?
It
that
can't be the
causes-
mausoleum in the middle of over there.
Right. It's not. I mean, he doesn't. It's like he's got it flipped around in his head.
I'm gonna ask if he could show us like where's this other mausoleum? Like this does. I wonder if he does have because I know sometimes I get like dyslexia almost with stuff. I'm wondering if maybe that's happening.
I mean, because
Processing.
he literally when he started watching this, he said, "I don't know if this loops around. Maybe a local can help me in the chat." I'm like, pull it up on Google Earth. You can see it loops around.
Yeah. Huh.
regarding the 25th. So keep that in mind because on the 26th, we do
See that?
actually see a vehicle leave at 3:53.
But he's saying on the 25th he doesn't see anybody going in or leaving. Right?
Right.
Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah.
But then the footage he was showing was from the 25th, he's claiming, right? I thought it was the night before.
Yeah.
So what does the car coming and going have to do with that? I feel like I got to take notes because I'm confused.
I think it's I'm sorry, I just don't buy this whole practice run, stake out, nobody's, and also the wildest thing to me is when the narrative that he's pushed of a car returning the night after Sebastian was allegedly abducted to drop something off, when they know that there are heat sensing thermal stuff to pick up Sebastian if he gosh. Like, I mean, 'cause-
Oh yeah, they set that all up in case he was walking around, or yeah.
correct. And there were some people walking around that got caught on that thermal imaging, though. They weren't Sebastian. They were kids that lived in the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Obviously weren't Sebastian, unfortunately.
Right, but they were
Yeah.
lived in the neighborhood, and someone said who they were, their mother. There's no mausoleum. Do you see it? I don't see a mausoleum over like where it would have to be, which would be in between the drive. Like, I mean, it just and still it doesn't reflect the way it would. Like, it would not.
Mm-mm.
It would reflect back at you. Like, if anything, it's going to reflect back at you almost like a mirror. It wouldn't. I don't know.
I just don't think it would come up in the angle at all. Like, unless there's another mausoleum that he could show us that isn't. I just don't see it anywhere.
Wrong.
I don't know the next time I'll be over there, but I'm almost tempted to just go drive down there because this is like, I don't think there is one.
I don't either. I mean, I'll be down there at some point. I'm trying to get someone to fly. Let me see if I can find some more footage of the cemetery. All right, I guess we can hit play and see if he says something. Okay, maybe he'll explain this.
When I say drive down there, it's only like 10 minutes from where my cousin has where he lives. It's in over past Millersville. But I just don't like go nosying around like that. I don't want to be rude and disrespectful unless I have a reason to be around,
Right. The other thing is that I, and you would know this, like, for example, the whole theory and like narrative of like a drop off or an exchange being like taking place at Worshams.
Yeah,
how many people go to Worshams?
Yeah, I never understood where that was.
It's popular. It's
a
like,
busy place.
It's to people that aren't local. Worshams is like the only place. It's like the corner country store, gas station, the hub of like that little area. If that's the last place you would want to go, if you don't want to be seen,
you would think.
I mean, you would go somewhere like Ward Lane. You're not going to Worshams where everybody goes, to get their coffee in the morning and say hello to Nancy at the, counter and buy a pack of smokes or whatever.
Exactly.
It just
I always thought that was interesting. But there's a lot of things that I just think people don't know because I don't know. I guess they're going based off of the other locals because we all know that I'm not existent. Anything I say, they're like, nah, I don't even live there. I'm like, okay.
So if the cars did not enter from the entrance off Long Hollow, nor did they exit, then
Word Lane.
There's only one other entrance / exit that they could take. And this is where it gets really suspicious, in my opinion.
Is he going to say Word Lane?
I have no clue. Together. We're in this.
That's
together.
a great question, Jazz. That's a great.
Oh, that's right. This
question.
is the new one. Okay.
Great question.
I know he's denied saying that.
Oh, thank you, Sassy.
Tried to say.
So anyway,
super chat was wrong. That told him that there's a, way to get access to cemetery from Ward Lane, regardless of the gate being bolted or unbolted. You try to help somebody
and
out.
Jazz, thank you as always for the $10 gifted $10 super chat and the love and support. I know and Jazz would love to be here. I know she has some things going on, and I do wish her the best, especially this time of year. Siggy, I hope that's how you say it. Thank you so much for gifting a Mob Crew membership and supporting this channel. It means the world.
Where did the car enter the
Sensei, I got my big 36. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's insane, Sensei. That is awesome. Congrats. And thank you. That is so awesome. Dang, 3 years, over 3 years probably.
The changing back
Support
and
this
forth is like,
channel.
There's
That's so
36
awesome. Thank you,
divided by
Sensei.
12 is
And
3.
Stevens, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. God bless you. You are so amazing. And then we have Henry Dog.
okay, so
God bless you, Henry Dog. You've been with my channel.
yes, I'm very happy for your success, Chris, but you're losing me every time this happens because it's taken a lot for me to understand things right now
Well-
in general, but this is really confusing me.
Well, that's because it doesn't make sense. And the people in his chat that are quote unquote helping him have an agenda. And the other people don't know what they're looking at. Like,
I don't know why it's going all weird.
With my channel, you know that
There we go. Okay.
whatever I can do to help in these cases, especially when I start to get directly involved, I'm going to do everything I can. And trust me, man, I wish I
don't know, like how, if the sourcing, I always wonder too, is like if the sourcing really is somebody that's local and stuff. Like,
oh, I know it is. I know it is.
like, I'd be worried that I would be afraid of like charges, in my opinion, like obstruction or like, I don't know.
Well,
It's
it-
wild.
that I've looked up the Tennessee code, and I mean, it has been, whew,
There's a lot.
there's been a lot of obstruction in this case.
There's a lot of laws and a lot of, it's just interesting.
A
The
lot
hindsight of it all.
a lot of interference has been intentionally run in this case.
Yeah, but if it's, that's why I'm always like, if those sources are the same sources, that it's just something really like, wow.
could say so much more.
Because I don't know
But
who
there's
their
still
sources
plenty
are.
to
I just
discuss for
imagine in my mind, you know?
I'll put it in back chat.
now. But we have to be patient. But trust me, we all as a community in here could be a part of something huge. Huge. Okay. So like I was saying earlier, we can see on the 26th, we can see a vehicle leave. That's why it's like really strange, right? So right there, we can see the vehicle leaving, and that's in the church, right? That's not the and that's not the neighborhood, just in case if you're wondering, like, oh well, maybe that could be the neighborhood, and I'll show you exactly why that's not, as we orient ourselves. Is so when we look, as you notice, the homes are lower, right? About right here, they go down, and our stuff. Notice the church, because of the rolling hills, kind of goes up, and this is about the spot because we see the two lights from this building here, which is this lights from this building off the school. It's a little building that for the athletes and stuff. And so there's some lights that we can see, and we see a vehicle passing in front of those lights, which means it has to be on this road. I know these trees are blocking it, but it's right here. And that is because see these little lights back here? Those lights are part of the that building, that rectangle building that's part of the school. So and that car is clearly in front of them. So very fascinating. On the 26th,
Okay,
we can
here's
see
what I'm
a vehicle leave,
Oh,
but yet on the
zoom in.
25th, we don't see.
Okay. Rewind it just a little bit. Look at that box. I want you to pay attention to that box, okay? When he pulls it up, you see what looks like a figure, tell me. I know there's not like that many people in here. Put an asterisk, one, whatever, if you see a dark, something moving that appears to be an individual, and that little white box on the right that he has highlighted, you'll see something move in front of that light source.
Are part of the that building, that rectangle building that's part of the school. So, and that car is clearly in front of them. So, very fascinating. On the 26th, we
There
can
it
see
is.
a vehicle leave, but yet on the 25th,
Yeah.
we don't see
Yeah,
no one enter or no one leave unless they're doing it with their headlights.
you can see it. I'm
So,
surprised it's not making it on like a loop because
there's 15 people in here. I'm one of the
Building that's part of the school.
15.
So,
But
so weird. Yeah, on the Mom and Enough channel, I don't know what's happened to it.
well, I mean, I could bring some people. That's why I told you one day we should do it, like do a co thing on my TikTok when I saw you come in that one time.
Oh yeah, I just started learning the For You page thing, scrolling through there. Yeah, when you do it, just let me know and I'll hop on.
Yeah.
And that car is clearly in front of them.
And
So,
I mean, I know I only have like 1,000 people on this. People they're sick of all this. They just want facts and to learn like what's really going on. Because they
Right.
don't understand all this insane nonsensical fighting stuff, from everybody. So
right. And then too, a lot of people think that I have this allegiance to, my allegiance is to Sebastian and Sebastian only.
yeah, same. I don't know anybody.
I'm the last person that a parent, like anyone, especially if you're a guilty parent, would want to like approach and be like, yeah, I want you to look at something. Like, cause I will go, if I'm not getting like being heard, I will, knock on doors and, be there in person.
Yeah.
Especially when I know I'm right about something.
I'm trying to understand like what he's.
Yeah.
I just can't see I just don't.
very fascinating. On the 26th, we can see a vehicle leave, but yet on the 25th,
On the 26th, is he talking about Monday night or Monday morning?
Early Monday morning, like on the 26th in this thing, like
Okay.
footage. He needs to be more specific when he says it, but especially since he's showing other days or other nights that are completely irrelevant because he's trying to put out a narrative of a test drive and a run through. And I mean, this is wild. Okay, like this.
Yeah, and there's no way you got to explain.
And then
how it came in, how it went off.
And then having a car sit there all of Sunday when everybody attends church. Right, bro. Sure.
Well, he said he was going to show us the other way that they came in, right? Did I miss it? Where did he say they came in from?
Maybe he hasn't gotten there yet. They've got to come in either on Ward Lane or they were dropped from the sky.
That might be next with how crazy this entire case is.
I know.
if we don't see no one enter or no one leave, unless they're doing it with their headlights off.
Okay, so this is the camera angle.
And as long as this isn't altered footage, because who knows who the sourcing is.
Okay, so I can attest for when you back out of it and it shows that the wide angle, I know that's the camera angle.
Okay.
I can confirm that because I have I have that footage. Like, I know that's the angle. Okay.
And then there's just kind of an angle from the daylight.
You see that light move too. Look, there's another light.
Just a couple
right
of different explanations of where that vehicle is.
Okay, I'm not
I
saying.
go from the daylight
No, you're not
time
seeing things.
to
There's no way
shading
not
times
to.
and
Yeah,
just a couple of different
please tell, he's got to see that, right?
explanations of where that vehicle is.
What is that?
Again, because
That's
I do understand.
I
Believe that
Wow, it
there
goes too
is
fast.
well, I don't know if he
There's
saw
no
that.
way he's not seeing this.
I mean, he saw a mausoleum, but didn't realize it was on the wrong side. He didn't know that. I have no clue. Please tell me that the aliens. He's got to realize they came through Ward Lane. Bless it. Okay.
Oh, and not only that, so keep this in mind as well. Not only do we see that vehicle on one camera, we see it on the other camera. Because remember, there's two cameras, and that face the construction, the backyard, and they're both positioned where one's looking kind of one direction and angle, and one's covering the other, but they both overlap each other, and they just so happen to overlap. But of course, the other one's is in a different position, and of course has a bunch more trees in front of it. But those trees cannot hide what is in the dark, because again, there's a reason why I'm explaining why it's so important that we see this vehicle leave, not only on one but two cameras.
Oh, look, hold on. Wait.
And again,
Pause
this
it.
is kind of the school.
Okay, those two bright lights in the middle of the screen, basically, right there, rewind it about 10 seconds. I want you to watch those lights. Or 15, just to be on the safe side. Watch those lights.
But those trees cannot hide what is in the dark, because
Well,
again, there's a reason why I'm explaining
see,
why
there's
it's so important that we see this
flicker of a
vehicle
light,
leave,
a
not only
light,
on
that
one
light.
but two cameras.
Look,
you're not at the same time.
no, but look at that. This lower light right beneath
This one is.
the barely there light that's just to the right of that. Nope. Right? It's a tiny little thing right there. That came on. That is a different light. That is a much like lower light source lumen wise, which is why it's appearing dimmer. That looks to be like a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely something,
Something's
Does.
here.
Again, there's a reason why I'm explaining why it's so important that we see
you
this
see how
vehicle
the top
leave,
of that
not only on
second light
one but two
bigger?
cameras.
Yeah.
Same for
And
the other
again,
light.
this is kind of
Then
the
you have
school
the light up
area,
there.
right?
Then you have the light up at the top that changes in color. Other right there. See how it's like an amber color?
Okay. This one is. There's
Yep.
two looking, right?
This one
That's
is
really bright.
amber color at the top.
Yeah, when it plays, you see it.
Yep. And then look,
Trees cannot hide what is in the dark, because
and then watch
Yeah,
people.
look.
again, there's a reason why I'm explaining why it's so important that we see this
That
vehicle
flicker.
leave, not only on
That
one
flicker.
but two cameras.
Yep.
What the hell?
And again, this is kind of the school area, right? Remember the
I
three
didn't
lights right
realize
here?
These are people walking in front of them.
What is? What are these?
And we can see that vehicle. It'll kind of go through. Again, there's so much trees.
We're
You
just
see them
we're
cut
gonna
through.
focus
here.
Almost like somebody with like like in the movies with the damn fire on a stick or something. Like, what is that?
and does he not see the other lights? Like you're focusing on shadow movement, which I get. I'm all about that, but like literally, the other ones are slapping you in the face. Like, hey, pay attention to me. I'm here. Wild.
What are they?
Okay.
Right there. and that is the same time that we see the car, obviously at 3:53 on the 26th leaving.
He has no concept that there's lights up there.
Okay. Oh, and then this is just one more time showing the two different cameras.
Okay, yeah, you see that you see
as they
that car
leave
leaving.
and the
That's
times,
definitely a
right?
car leaving,
So
right?
we know that if
See
there
that?
was a vehicle
Yeah.
either entering or leaving with its lights off, we should have caught it not on
This is
one, but not only one, but both cameras. So again, hopefully I've
Oh, what was it?
got
He's
that point
been
across. I'm all pause.
I'll get the footage from the homeowner. I'll just get all of it. Because this is he's zoomed in so much.
That's what I'm saying. Is this reflections now? Like,
No.
what is that?
No, you're not going to get a light source moving like that as a reflection. Like, there has to be something that's creating that source of light.
No, I know. That's why I'm like, how is he not talking about it?
Hellfire if I know. No pun intended. Since he
To his shirt.
No, he's worn that for 14 lives in a row. It's driving me bananas.
What is it, like a good lock shirt?
I have no clue. It needs to retire.
I didn't even notice. See, I don't really watch very much.
I only watched
in to try to catch up on certain things, and then I'm like,
I only watched as an accident, almost like it stumbled on it with like an accident, and then he started. It was like 8 months ago. He played this footage because I was looking for the footage of the dogs going in front of the tracking dogs.
Yeah.
For Michelle After Dark, and I went into watched one of his old lives, and he was I knew that I think he was going over some of this footage in the backyard, but he was focusing on some like lights, like flashlight lights that were in like the backyard and suspicious light activity there. And then now he's over in the cemetery with this whole narrative because that got dropped off and forgotten about. And then all of a sudden it was just everybody analyzing the 3 a.m. lights and this car that pulled onto Stafford. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have seen that terrain. I've been in the neighborhood. You're not deadlifting 100+ pounds in the middle of the night. I mean, you're just going to do something like that. And if you're going to go pull up on Stafford Court, you might as well just pull it to the front of the house. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I never thought that other people wouldn't notice. I mean, the houses aren't like an acre apart. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people around. I figured if anything was to happen, it would be the garage.
Yeah. I mean, in the home where you're not seeing. So if you're going to do an exchange, you would just have somebody you wouldn't, I mean, the whole notion of going over to the, leaving. So what they do, carry Sebastian over there, or is this where they're meeting? How did Sebastian get here? Is what I want to know. Where is Sebastian in all this? Is this and these cars? What are they doing? Is this a meeting, a pre-team huddle, or what is going on? And how does it relate to Sebastian? Because according to his own timeline, Sebastian's already, quote unquote, been abducted by this silver 3 a.m. car, because we're looking at it at 3:53 in the morning. Yeah. So so they abduct somebody from their neighborhood after driving up Kellen, then pulling onto Stafford, sitting there, carrying, jumping through over pretty deep ditches with a person, and then they go to the cemetery and have a meet up.
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense to me.
well, it wouldn't make much sense if it is also supposed to be like very military style, superior
Right. They're
intelligence.
like, I don't.
It's a lot easier ways.
My dad was a pretty decent officer in the military, and I mean, they don't. And my ex-boyfriend, I mean, he was in the Navy and at the same base that Chris and Katie were. But they don't, like, there's not like a naval assassin, like, unless you're a SEAL. But okay, there's not just like, oh, you're in the Navy, well, we're gonna train you to, how to get away with killing people. I mean, they just don't do that. Let's be real.
You know, they
No
teach you
offense.
how to protect yourself, defend yourself.
Right. No offense to Katie, but I mean, I'm sure she's strong. I just don't see her deadlifting and jumping through creeks while holding flashlights, and I also think that she's too smart to say to law enforcement that I can account for all of his shoes. Like, that makes, that you would, if you're lying to law enforcement about that, I would think you would say, I don't know. He seems to have left with shoes because I can't find all of his shoes here. Instead of saying, I see all of his shoes are here.
Well, I think the only reason some people had said that was because if there's an emergency, you might not think.
Well,
it's
right,
moment.
but in that moment when police are asking you.
Oh no, I get it. I understand both sides of it. But I just feel like as time went on, even the deception detective said, it's withholding.
Okay, let me ask you this. So that was from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Katie had said that all the shoes were accounted for. From like the jump. So when, according to this deception detective, which I'm going to be honest, what are his credentials?
I don't think anybody really has credentials anymore, in my opinion. I thought at first people did, and then they took me like a month to think. I don't necessarily think they do. But I was only referencing him because he's the only one that I've heard that said he just felt like there was deception, not like an unaliving. You know how so many people.
Right. But based on what, though? Like, what does he say? Like, based on his.
He just breaks down what he thinks the key wording is or whatever his, they have all these different.
Does he say, like, like Duty Ron says, I'm a retired and Ed, whatever. They're like, we're retired NYPD detectives. Like, what is his training? Like, do we even know who this guy is? Like,
no, we don't know who anybody is. You have to take everything with a grain of salt.
I'm a freaking astronaut, okay? Like, like, let me sell you a deck of cards for $80.
I know, it's the most expensive deck of cards ever.
And I'm just going to say I detect deception based on my training and of what training? Like, I mean, I'm just curious. Like, it blows me. This is what's mind-blowing. What is mind-blowing to me is that we have a whole slew of people that are turning to this guy as if he's some world-renowned expert when we don't even know who the hell he is.
No, but that's why I want him to keep going, because I'm interested. I want to see what happens at the end of it, because I do think a lot of people are going to have to explain, I feel that this has been interfered with on different levels. And I think at the end, we're going to learn a lot of, maybe like what is going to be allowed on YouTube, or I don't know.
What isn't, I don't know. Criminal investigations, period. Like, I mean, this should not, if I was Sumner County or the TBI, etc., and this was my case, and I had people messing with it like that they have, I'd be making some examples. I'd be setting some precedent. Like, and then we have these people that are, you know, instead of just objectively looking at things like we're right now, kind of like looking at these lights, noticing the lights, looking at, is he, what he's saying making sense? By pulling up the location of the mausoleum, would light reflection even work that way? No, it wouldn't, because it's not even, it wouldn't even be in the, you know, like, that's how you should analyze things. Like, is by looking at the evidence and kind of, you know, debunking, I think, misinformation, or just like talking through it. But I think it's very dangerous to give credibility to people like the deception detective. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're, let me ask you this. If you were a professional and that was like your, what you've trained to, you know, trained in, like, because I would think that you would have like behavior, you studied psychology, behavior analysis, you know, all those different things. So just, would you go by a name like the deception detective? Just
No.
curious. How professional? I mean, like, it just doesn't, when I hear, well, the deception detective told
It's
me.
a good branding style, but it's definitely more of an entertainment, you know, just
Well,
conversation,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
just discussion.
Right, but we have people that are taking what he's saying as like the like biblical shit. Like, oh, well, he said it. It's on card number 59. The deception detective tells me this.
But hasn't
And
it always been like this? Isn't that why it's important that there's some sort of discussion on how, you know, these cases, when they're active, really should be
well,
handled? Because it's been like this for years.
well, I mean, in this case, I don't see any other cases that have been. I mean, we had, well, there's that detective John with, you know, in Idaho, with a channel, and it came out that he was like a bike cop, not really a detective at all.
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are not who they say they are at all. It's
And
more they
that's
cover that by the entertainment and the free speech, and
right. And
but
so,
he hasn't covered Sebastian exclusively. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but I have enjoyed the way that he talks about it, because he didn't flat out say that they were murmurs, you know, like he seemed more, I don't know, for
but
me
he,
to listen to. But a lot of people have covered it exclusively, like nonstop.
right. And they cite him as a source as if he is like, you know, like you would, you know,
Yeah.
a source in a scholarly research paper, and that's just not the case. Like, this guy knows nothing about, you know, especially like there's a lot of things that play into things like that that
Yeah, he
I
said he
don't
was a
think you
lawyer,
really
I think, right?
have a card for, huh?
I don't know, the whole anonymity thing. Like, I get why you did. The same reason that I was, you know, I always use CCN. People know my first name, it's not a secret. But the anonymity thing I always thought was really bizarre when people make, because I'm like doctors, lawyers, congressmen, everybody and anybody, famous celebrities from A to Z list. Nobody needs the anonymity like this. Like, that to me has always been really strange. Not with him, I'm saying overall.
Right.
Overall, you know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
If you're
Well,
making like $10,000-$20,000 on YouTube or anywhere talking about things, I don't really think anonymity should be.
you
You're
should
not
be
a
able to
multi-billionaire. We know where Elon Musk is. Like, it's
and
just weird.
presenting yourself as if you're qualified to speak on the subject, and
Yeah.
people are taking what you're saying as if it's the gospel. You don't deserve anonymity. Like, you need to be up front with your credentials. That's why I watch people like the behavior panel, where they are open about who they are, what their credentials are, what they're
Exactly.
saying, why there's, why it's a sign of deception.
We could take a lot of what they're saying because they're professionals. We know that. Like you can actually use that.
Correct.
And cite it.
They did analyze a video of Katie and Chris.
Mhm.
But nobody paid attention to that. Let's pay attention to the anonymous dude who like has a deck of cards that he sells and calls himself by,
Well, that's why I do like the mop crew and I do check in every now and then. I just like the fact that he hasn't been a fake on what he's doing. Like he's very, honest, like, hey, this is just what I really enjoy,
Right. He enjoys it, but at the same time.
But people should be responsible and they're not. Like nobody's responsible. I'm not saying him, but like chatters and stuff.
Well, there's a responsibility to I think that YouTubers and creators have. I get like you have your sources or whatever. However,
influencers,
if your source is steering you to push something one way, that should make you very skeptical.
Yeah, well, I've seen it across the board.
And, and it's just, it seems like, I had a friend that reached out to me and was like, oh my gosh, mob crew. And, when they first started talking about the lights, like, oh my gosh, they've identified the three, like, you've got to watch the live. That was around the same time that, I realized where all this was coming from and was able to trace everything back. And I was like, OMG. Like, it's, wow. Like, I like that he is looking at this. I think it's important to look at, but what he's saying isn't making any. The math isn't mathing. The visuals aren't visual. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. The narrative, so I'm curious to see where he goes with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Are they dropping back into the neighborhood, or where are they going now?
Here in a minute. I want to.
Where's the other road? He said it right, didn't he say that?
Yeah. Where are they leaving? Are they leaving out to Long Hollow? Or are we not? We're going to Ward. Where do they come in from?
I hope we find out soon. I'm getting tired. I'm sure you're finally getting tired.
So again, 2 entrances, right? Hollow Pike, which would be the normal, appropriate way to enter this church and into the cemetery, right? And then there is a secondary entrance / exit. But it's not a normal one. It's not really a public entrance. And this is off Ward Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll get into.
People that work there or
go to school there at beach.
After
someone asked,
Stranger Things is over. I love this shirt. I only wear this shirt when I go live. Right now, until the Stranger Things is over.
Dude,
I think it's like a lucky shirt, I think.
No, dude. It's gotta be.
I bought this shirt when season 4 kind of finished, with Hellfire and how big it was, which was like 3 years ago, whatever.
Well,
and
I'm just laughing because we were talking about the shirt before. So this is 3 a.m. on the 25th. So that would be Saturday night.
Yeah, so this has absolutely nothing to do with the price of eggs in China. But okay, Chris, tell us about it.
Oh my Lord, I'm so perplexed.
I had moved just shortly after, and I actually put it away somewhere because I never opened it up. I think off Amazon, order another one. And now we're going back to the 25th, right? Because we have the activity. No vehicles seen entering or exiting, right? So, let's say if there was, somebody doing like, people now do ghost hunting, right? They go to all these different churches or cemeteries, do ghost hunting at night.
O'clock in the morning in the middle of February.
And you could
End of
kind of say
February?
3 a.m. would be kind of a time that they would probably go, right? Because they're
No,
something at 3
I
a.m.
don't think it was like a high Wiccan or a cult or whatever
no, they're camping out too all day on Sunday.
full moon type of thing, right? Like a harvest or
No,
solstice or anything. I
they
can't come up
didn't
with the
leave
words.
all day. Remember, Chris? You have them sitting there from all of Sunday, so they wouldn't have been You can't ghost hunt really in the, on a Sunday in the. So what were they doing then? Sleeping, I guess, in their car.
I don't know. Guess he'll have to tell us.
Okay,
Let's see.
we're gonna learn.
But yeah, we don't see them enter on the 25th. And
So when did they enter?
I don't know, being in there for, well, we'll talk about how long these people might be in there, but
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. I don't think it's people doing paranormal stuff, right? Again, it's not a big.
The only way that somebody this would ever make any sense is if they were able to go off road, right? And they camped out somewhere.
And there's a
and then
campground,
yeah, like there would
I'm
have
sorry,
to.
nobody's out
They're
there.
not going to be able to hide in the cemetery, in my opinion, on a
Roasting
weekend.
weenies, like, what are they chewing? Like, go into the what are they doing? Like, okay, I'm interested to see how long he's going to say they were there for now.
Big cemetery. It doesn't have anything that where there's supposed ghost activity, right? Let me know your thoughts. Looking at both sides of the coin, right? What would be a rational explanation for what they're doing in there, right? It's not workers. That's the other thing that was nice about speaking with the church. They don't work at 3 a.m. in the morning. Certainly wouldn't be safe. I'm sure there's plenty of different reasons why they're not working at that time. So we confirmed a lot of stuff thanks to the church.
I could have told you
This
that.
is highly abnormal. But now going back to the entrance, or the secondary entrance, which would be off Ward Lane.
They were approaching it.
Now, for those that don't know, there is a gate here. And this gate, we've seen it recently. We've seen it. It's still there. Sometimes it's unlocked, uneven open, which is interesting. But when Silvers went out there, it was locked. Seeing another person go out there last year, it was also locked. It's locked with a chain linked and a padlock, which means that there's only a certain amount of individuals, maybe even including the church, I'm assuming, that would probably have access to this lock. Now, this is the other thing, and then I'll pause and kind of get your guys' thoughts on this. Is if they came through Ward Lane, I'm going to show you right here, and that how much where Ward Lane comes from and goes.
Okay.
So let me just back this up just a little bit. So here we are at the only other entrance to this place. And again, it has a gate with the padlock. And there's Ward Lane. Now here's me following Ward Lane, right? There's one home that cuts off from that Ward Lane, both basically farm homes. That's another home that comes off Ward Lane. And we go up north, follow Ward Lane, a couple more homes that cut off from that street. And it dead ends. So Ward Lane is not very big, and it dead
Mhm.
ends. And the only way to get onto Ward Lane, very interestingly enough, is there's two entrances to get onto Ward Lane. We have New Hope, which is also New Shackle, if you go south of Long Hollow. It's the same road. Or, interestingly enough, there's also a little back road from the school.
So somebody
As
that
we
went
see
to school
here.
there or lives in the area would know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this little back road, but that is the only way
Mm-hmm.
to get onto Ward Lane. Is you could sneak in through the school and cut into it, or you've got Shackle Island, New Hope, which is the same road, and go on that road. As far as I know, I don't think that's a road right there, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's just Ward Lane. Anyway, yeah, so that's it.
He's trying.
So keep that in mind. Very interesting.
He looks perplexed. Really?
Yeah, I don't think that's what I mean.
No,
Like he's not.
And I even told him, I blew my cover. It was me. I told you. I was trying to help you out.
Janice,
Yes,
it is. I'm sure it's possible. I mean, that's
know.
great. That I love that. That's great to think outside the box like that.
No, it's not really thinking outside
Certainly,
the box in the fucking
for
country.
sure.
Yeah, no.
That's a great question, biker. I don't know. Maybe the homes do. I'm sure the school, from that one entrance probably does. But here's Ward Lane. There was just a look, of one of the street views of Ward Lane, kind of right at the kind of little intersection there where it splits off.
Okay.
So again,
We're
let me
going
know in the chat
circles.
what would be
That's not-
non-nefarious rational explanation for what we're seeing on the 25th. These people most likely did not enter from the normal entrance. If they did it with their headlights off. I will always leave a little ounce of possibility that we just don't see it, but with two cameras, I could see maybe one camera, but with two different angles, we don't see anything entering or exiting. I find that very suspicious. Right? Then we break down the time of everything going on. Right? So,
Okay, maybe
and
now.
this is just the 25th, the night before.
Oh,
We
we're
have
still on
this
the not
Columbrium that gets
I know.
illuminated starting at 3:23 a.m., which means that
Maybe.
whoever's in there clearly had to have gotten in there before 3:23, right? So it could have been in there at 3:10, 3 a.m., as far as we know, right? Then, on top of that, we have one or two vehicles at 3:49 and 3:51, or excuse me, 3:44.
That's not 30
and
plus minutes.
3:49.
323 to 350 is
Seen on the west end of the loop
math wasn't a strong suit.
on the
I guess.
25th. So, just the activity alone
27
is
minutes.
from 3:20 to 3:50, just kind of rounding it off for 30 minutes plus,
No, that's
right?
if you're rounding it up.
And again, that is not accounting for
Yeah.
them having to get in there. So you add another 10 minutes at the
10
very
minutes
least to get in there.
10 minutes
10
to get in
minutes.
my ass.
And then you add, 5 to 10.
It's not that long at all. Maybe what, 2 to get all the way?
No, bruh. Like to borrow someone
It's
else.
not that much longer than the road. Than
10
Kellen and
minutes for
stuff.
a car to drive in there? Like, hellfire. Shit. You cannot be.
Minutes.
I
You're
know.
losing your FBI spot, okay? Don't even try out for the team.
He makes me laugh. He's good at what he's doing.
Where?
If
Okay.
he was with the FBI, he would be good at it. Because this
No, he
is
wouldn't.
just,
He would
this
be
is
like,
confusing. He's
he would be
confusing
like,
the hell out of everybody.
he would be laughed right out of the FBI.
He'd be a good actor spot.
Well, there he can try out for a movie. That's what I feel like we're in.
If you're trying to get
I've heard
catch
that there-
people off guard, he would be a good one if you think about it.
no,
On the back chat.
bless it. Bless it. No, I mean we can't. We're not even doing math right. We're not. The math is not mathing right now. It's mething, but not mathing.
Yeah, I'm not following this.
Like you have them.
There's too
Okay,
many lights
what-
moving that I can't stop looking at that are not in the
Right.
box.
And that he's not even acknowledged or mentioned. Like, and
This one
he
looks like a
also-
whole face going on. It's not, but you know, 2 and 1.
from the other camera in past lives, he's talked about how he can see a little sliver of Long Hollow Pike. So I don't imagine that they're driving down Long Hollow Pike with their lights off too.
Mm-mm.
So would that mean that they came in from the other direction of Long Hollow Pike that did not pass Stafford? Were they? Because they could have never had to go to Stafford Court with their lights on then.
Yeah.
Remember? Because these people are supposed to be affiliated with our abductor kidnapper people, I think. Because like
seems to be somehow.
I know your people watch Mob Cruise. I'm just trying to they need to, I want them to think about this like the next live that he does, because this is like the part where I'm sitting here watching going, how are people like, I have a oceanfront property in Idaho for sale.
Yeah, I
Right
definitely have to ask, like, why are we not? What is this with the other lights? They're right there. They're right there.
And why are we saying it takes 10 minutes to get somewhere? It's not even, I'm going to see how long it takes. Okay. Like, I'm going to see how long it takes just to walk to Ward Lane. Like, but you can keep playing. Like, this is disturbing though, that people believe this.
Yeah, Ward Lane is definitely the other road. At least he's saying that, right? He's talking about Ward Lane.
Because, I mean, otherwise he was going to get another super chat, probably.
Let's see.
After we see the car, right? Because we don't know, what else they're doing in there after. So they could almost be in there for 50 to an hour,
What?
50 to 60 minutes.
Huh?
How?
And most likely, can't say 100%, came in from Ward Lane. Why?
Oh, he just said
Why would
Ward
they
Lane?
do that? Now, I will tell you, there is a camera at the church entrance.
Hmm.
There's 2, I think. Maybe 3. I think there's 2 for sure. So you have activity going on, vehicle or, one or more vehicles in there as well for 30 to well over 30 minutes for sure, guaranteed. And before we get to that, what would be the rational explanation? I've heard someone say, "Oh, maybe it could be a drug deal," right?
A drug deal?
I don't know what drug deal takes 50 to 60 minutes, although, I
Usually
had
those
a few years where I was a pothead. I'm not ashamed of it. Anyway, so I've done, some shady stuff when I was, in my teens and early 20s, when it was illegal. Now things have changed, but I don't know why you're going to go into a cemetery to do that when, you could just go on Ward Lane, that doesn't make any sense. What other rational explanation?
There isn't one.
Mm-mm. Doesn't seem to be.
It's someone that obviously knew about the fact that there were cameras at the church, wanted to bypass them.
Yes. Very highly
Local to
unusual
the
place to be.
area, knew about the entrance to Ward Lane, used it a few times, maybe grew up in the area.
Previous video went down Kellen. Oh, facing the construction. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the undercover
car.
SUV. Yeah, so Mr.
Mark.
Bean, that was
Oh, he's
the one
nice
that
talking
went
about
towards the construction off
No,
Kellen.
it was actually like the bad part is that it was actually a marked unit. Like you could see the markings on it. It was a marked Sumner County SUV, and he shined the spotlight into the construction area the night after Sebastian went missing, around 3 a.m, which tells me something. I think.
Kellen, that was the day after he went missing, and even further dates as well. But on the 27th at 3 something a.m. in the morning, undercover guaranteed law enforcement drove and then looked into the construction area with its spotlight. Hey, it's Drew. Wow, it's been a minute since seen you. Lover's Lane. I mean, I like it. That's definitely thinking outside the box. Be kind of creepy at a historic cemetery though for a Lover's Lane, but I like it.
Oh, that's only because of a. Oh. No.
Yeah.
We are looking into that for sure. We are
looking into what?
How long the lock had been on the gate? Was it placed after Sebastian? No, you hear it in the dispatch audio. They cut it with bolt cutters.
To that. And yes, we thought about ghost hunters. But again, the weird thing is that these vehicles likely came in through the back entrance, which again means it's a little more nefarious. I agree with Mrs. Thornton there. Yeah. Yeah, not a very romantic. Yeah, although I like it though. It's everybody's trying to think outside the box. This is what we need. What would be a rational explanation? But then again, we're only talking about the 25th. We haven't gotten into the 26th, right? So then when you combine both of them, then that's where it's like, okay, that's a little much for it to be.
Definitely keeps you getting the watch time. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I've been doing it all wrong for 2 years trying to do ethics. Not that he doesn't have ethics. I'm just saying, in general, how long it takes to get through these things, right? And how you're you're literally trying to understand, in a whole hour.
Well, because he's not making
good at that.
He's not making any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 724 people in his chat that are probably sitting here eating it up, Yeah,
because his personality is more enjoyable. I think.
Where's his personality?
When you start watching people, right, and you get sucked into it.
But he has no personality. Come on. I wish I would give him if he had personality.
But I just mean out of all, when you're watching them, right? We go back to certain ones for different reasons. Well, I don't know how certain people watch this all the time. I don't get it. I never could. It's the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
But, I'll go back because I'm just I hope this person ends up being decent in some way. Like, you know, like, I don't know what else
Yeah.
to say. I'm always hoping.
I don't think if I would, you can go ahead and play him, but I don't think if I would have super chatted, I think because the live after that I listened to, I basically had to turn it off when he said, "There's no way they could have entered a more like word lane," according to the locals. Well, then I guess he had to realize maybe that super chatter was right.
Yeah, the locals are very interesting. I've noticed a lot of these locals apparently that talk to the YouTubers. They should just do their own live streams.
Well, some of them would have to do it under an alias and have a voice changer.
That's true. I had commenters that used to say he was a local and he lived right there.
Oh.
This whole case has been very interesting.
Just
I don't
a
even go in and look
non-nefarious
because I'm like, I don't care. I'm
activity.
waiting to find out what the facts are from
But I do like
actual,
people trying to.
you know, law enforcement and everything. The only thing I ever really listened to is the parents' interviews. You know, when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, he was so dismissive of the 12:17 a.m. footage that SF released, and I don't think people should overlook that. And here, like, it goes back to the TBI press release. If you
Is that the one with the kid in the front yard kneeling down and everything,
no,
or is that the?
No, it's around the time that the dog walker goes out, but it's a black. It's just a black. Like I said, you see a black like a black blob that interrupts the light. You know, you see a figure at 12:17 walking in front of that porch light of the house of the dog walker on Devon.
Yeah.
Towards the construction site. And
yes.
You have to watch it several times, and like they came out and made a statement. Ellie made a statement about it. Most people just dismissed it, but unlike with the green hoodie person, Ellie's statement wasn't the same way of saying, like, we know who that is, we've spoken with them, and they're not involved, right? That was the gist of the green hoodie. 12:17, however, the TBI is talking about this, like, and this is why, like, one in the flyer, I think they always thought that was Sebastian, first of all, which is why they put the original missing persons date as the 26th. Okay, it's because that would be a
in the area of Stafford
and it
Court.
says in the area of. Correct. They are very intentional in how they word their flyers. They said last seen at his home.
Mm-hmm.
They would.
That always was very interesting.
Right, and that is actually where he was seen. Is considered in the area of Stafford Court, because that Stafford Court goes up and makes the cul-de-sac. So, that is why they said that. And if I'm pulling up the TBI thing where Sebastian, when they did it, they were talking about, let's see, when they talked about changing the date. This is the wording that told me everything I needed to know. Is, while to date there have been no confirmed sightings of Sebastian, efforts to locate him have not ceased. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office continues to review and revisit any information gathered since the investigation began. TBI agents continue to provide assistance in following up on leads and tips that continue to be submitted and developed. SF had sent them that video, right? Shortly before the anniversary, because that was when it was discovered.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reviewing and revisiting information gathered is in my opinion, them reviewing and revisiting the 1030 Kellen Lane footage. They had that marked, in my opinion, on the Cal Topo map because that was the location of the camera's last sighting of Sebastian, and or that so they thought, until they got the tip from SF saying, do you see this person at 12:17? When they went back and looked at it, because they could not, there was also, someone else that is very similar in resemblance to Sebastian, and they were not able to confirm or speak to anyone that said, hey, that was me that was walking down there, after it was even made public on all the local news stations and even national news. They changed the date, so that they even said, as part of that continued investigation, officials developed information that while Sebastian was reported missing on February 26, 2024, the last time he was confirmed to have been seen was February 25th, 2024. The Amber Alert poster and FBI reward poster have been updated to reflect that information and are posted below. That is why the date changed. The 12:17 person was originally believed to be Sebastian, putting him going missing on February the 26th. It got sent in by SF. They revisited that as part of their, investigation, because at that time too, when it was submitted, that's when things had come out about, phone calls had been coming out, other theories had been possibly floated around involving people that could resemble Sebastian on camera. And they, I think, revisited that. And if you look at what the person was wearing, in the cat video, I think they were wearing something like all black, right? So they couldn't be sure that was Sebastian. So they reversed it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I can see where you're getting that theory. And what do you think the reason would be that they would keep saying that they have no evidence that he ever left the house? Because it's not clear enough?
No, here's they have, if you look at because they do not have him on camera leaving the house. Okay. They have dog tracks and dog scents leading, to the retention pond. I actually called Ken Widener and I talked to him about that I talked, Brandon Carter called me back, but I sent Ken Widener a voicemail, left him a voicemail, emailed him, whatever. What Brandon Carter clarified is, at the end of that, when that dog stopped tracking and jumped into the retention pond, Sebastian wasn't in that retention pond. So when they led, Sebastian was not at the end of that. And Ken Widener has said that in a couple of interviews, but he wasn't very clear about it. And I think too, the fact that not all the dogs necessarily went there was also played a role. But you also have wind that was being stirred up from the construction, vehicles continuing to operate, the construction continuing to run all the day that day, that made it very problematic. But I think one thing that is promising about the fact of that Sebastian did go towards that retention pond and the construction site is, originally it was believed that the dog that was given a Sebastian scent article arrived on scene at that afternoon, mid-afternoon. However, that dog arrived, that was the second dog that arrived on scene. It was there at 8:30 and it tracked from his house. Okay, so you go out of Sebastian's house on Stafford Court. You take a left, cut back by in front of his window, hug the house and the back fence, walk in between all of the houses, then it cuts up right where you see it come out in the house, basically kind of almost across the street from where the 1030 Kellen is, and then it goes to the construction site. Attempts to go into the backyard of 1032 Kellen Lane, gets called off. Attempts to go back into the backyard of 1032 Kellen Lane, again gets called off by the handler, and then heads to the retention pond. Max also, if you look at the video too, Max also showed interest in before he started taking off towards the retention pond. Max actually went along the fence line to 1032 Kellen Lane's fence line and then took off.
So why do you think the other dog didn't?
Because a dog is only as so when it was a matter of when those other scented dogs arrived on scene. I think the fact that the construction being ongoing definitely did not help in terms of them being able to follow a scent. You had a dog's only as good as their handler is too, so I'm not sure what those handlers training were or when they got on scene. You have rain that can complicate things. Like I said, just the continued moving of stuff from the construction site is going to stir up a scent, like make it hard for a dog to follow, especially after it went on like all day, you know, they never shut it down.
Yeah, I always wondered about, oh, it's not the baby getting up. I always wondered about the construction site because I had heard that it was shut down and people said it wasn't shut down.
We watched it go all day.
You know,
and
like I was trying to look at that drone footage to see what was going on. Because it just seemed like with how many people they deployed that didn't really make sense. Like how, unless they did a whole big search of it.
They drained the retention pond twice. However, I wonder if I actually called Ken Widener a couple days ago to ask if they dredged it, because it is like quicksand, and you know, with the story that I was told of like him possibly being, you know, drowned in there and pushed into the, you know, bottom of it, I thought that was very like too much detail. And the suction sound and stuff you know, it just was too much detail, and it also made no sense. Katie has a bathtub. If she wanted to drown somebody, she could have just used that. You know, you don't need a construction retention pond to do it. So that was always weird to me. It was always weird to me too, the fact that they, you know, the flashlight video was leaked to Nick Barras. And they said it, as of right now, it has no evidentiary value. And I think that was someone attempting to get ahead of what was going to be on surveillance footage, such as like movements of lights and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see where you think that, definitely.
And if you think about it too,
Trying to think of kind of,
you know,
the non-nefarious.
You're having that.
Didn't need to hit that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that there was a phone call into Nick Barras' show before the, he has that like Newsline or whatever call-in show. And there was a phone call on March the 7th that's very interesting. It talks about flashlights and stuff, and Nick Barris's response is something of the, if he had left with a flashlight, I think I would have expected to see flashlights moving around, and then next thing you know, wham, in his inbox, video, flashlights. Here you go.
Yeah, I always had my speculations on a lot of the stuff and where it came from and was it legitimate and
Yeah. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just wanting.
oh no.
I was just wanting to say, like, I wasn't sure if you had. I know so many people discounted that 12-17 footage because it wasn't, no, Ellie didn't come out and say this is Sebastian or isn't, But when you read that wording of that flyer, it's pretty clear and apparent to me why they changed it, and the timing of that flyer versus the timing of when that was written versus when SF sent them that. And I know people not everybody likes SF. Like, and I'm not saying they have to, I disagree with him on stuff. I disagreed with him on Riley's strain. If he wants to be wrong on that one, he can be, but I'm just saying, love him or hate him, I still think the facts, still are important. And I think that that was worded that way. There's no other explanation that I can think of as to why they changed that flyer's date when they did and came out with that announcement other than that. So sorry. You can hit play. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but it's just frustrating. And I want this case to be solved so badly.
No, I can understand that. And I think that's where a lot of people come from, is that they see this totally different angle. And I can see two sides only because of how, just how many interviews and stuff that, have been done. And when I listen to them, I can't make sense of a lot of the stuff that, like Chris, the stepdad has said and stuff. It just throws me for a loop,
Like what? And maybe
oh my God, there's a lot. We'll
Yeah.
have to talk about it another night. It just
That's
confuses
fine.
me to
Yeah.
no end, I'm like, but a lot of stuff confuses me because it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's why I thought by now there would be a lot more answers, because in the beginning I always thought that it could be a third party, and that's why he was so confident, acting and stuff.
Right.
And it just just seemed that way. But then as time goes on, I just don't get it, because I'm like, well, I feel like everybody has, done a lot of effery,
Right. And why would they be doing that if there's no they don't have something to hide, is probably you're thinking.
Now, yeah, after all this time. But it doesn't really matter what I think, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Right. And I feel like sometimes a lot of the problems have been because so many people get involved when it comes to the content part, right?
Right.
But I don't know. But I guess I should wrap this up because the baby's all cranky. And I think it's just because he's probably not happy with my husband going to him, because I was gone so much. So I'm just going to go out there and see if maybe I could calm him down for him.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're better after being. I would hate to be in the hospital for that long.
Thank you. No, I do. I hated it. I'm happy to be home, but it's almost like torturous because I'm like restricted, and I don't want to be restricted.
Well, take it easy and get to feeling better. And like I said,
thank you.
Enjoy.
Let me know when you want to do a TikTok, and then I could have more examples for you.
Yeah. But thanks for allowing me to come up and looking at this with me. I hope that, people will look at some of the things that we pointed out, in this stream.
I hope so, because I think that, we're doing a really big disservice to Sebastian and to ourselves if we're going to, make content in general, by not having conversations and trying to grow and
right. And
you
I
know,
mean, we don't have
and
like,
want what's best for investigations, you know, like,
right. And that's the other thing is like, I think people can be like disagree with one another and still do it like respectfully. It doesn't have to be a screaming match or, you know, anything like that. It's what I've kind of always like, at least on my TikTok and stuff, I've always asked people, I was a philosophy major. I've always said, please come challenge me. So I appreciate you having me up and us being able to go over this. And like I said, I hope that this maybe opens some people's eyes and they look at this maybe in a new light. No pun intended.
that was a good one. I will give you that.
All right.
I'm sure we're always looking at things in 5 million directions until there's answers, right?
Right. So,
well, I hope you have a good night.
Yes. All right. Thanks.
Take care. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a true crime Christmas where everyone's a sleuth. The suspect's in the eggnog, the alibi's the proof. Mom's got her podcast spinning tales of doom, but the cat ate the cookies in the other room. It's getting to look like Christmas live streams every night. They say be kind, rewind, oh but nah, not tonight. Mom had lost her marbles chasing ghosts online, but who needs sanity when the algorithm shines? Dad's in the basement with a chalkboard full of clues. Sister's got a notebook and she's quoting interviews. Grandma's knitting sweaters with conspiracies in thread, while Uncle Joe's convinced the reindeer faked their sled. It's getting to look like Christmas live streams every night. They say be kind, rewind, oh but nah, not tonight. Mom had lost her marbles chasing ghosts online, but who needs sanity when the algorithm shines? The trees got tinsel, but the vibe's a crime scene. Who took the last candy cane forensic routine? The stockings are hung with the suspect's face. True crime Christmas, this family's misplaced. It's getting to look like Christmas live streams every night. They say be kind, rewind, oh but nah, not tonight.